For the next little while, Foxy and Amy have swapped their normal life for something completely different. We are house sitting for my auntie and uncle, which means our little family of 2 dachshunds has suddenly become a gang of 5 dogs. There are 2 tiny rescue Chihuahuas that are relatively new here, and Gimli, who's been part of the family for years. 3 miniature ponies, 2 old age pensioner horses, a very elderly donkey who mainly requires cuddles, scratches, and an enormous amount of attention, and plenty of chickens so we can enjoy fresh eggs. There's one more member of the family I haven't introduced yet. This is Millie, the most beautiful farm cat. She's absolutely gorgeous, but when the girls arrive for the holiday, Millie sadly keeps away. She is shy and tends to run away, which makes the girls very intrigued. There are enough animals on this small holding without everybody needing to be best friends. So things are a little busier than usual. But this place is also my absolute paradise. And judging by Foxy and Amy, I don't think I'm the only one who feels that way. The girls have been here many times before, so they know exactly where they are. They know the house, they know the garden, and most importantly, they know where all the good spots are to roll in. They also love these 2 little Chihuahuas that were rescued about 3 months ago, and they are absolutely tiny. Suddenly, Foxy and Amy look like big dogs, which isn't something I get to say very often. Gimli is the experienced member of the group. He's older, he's been here for years, and he pretty much knows how everything works. He's a bit of an introvert and likes to watch rather than join in at playtime. So now we've got our little gang of 5. And it's funny watching the relationship between them. Foxy and Amy naturally gravitate towards each other. The 2 Chihuahuas are mother and daughter, so they're very close and tend to play together. And Gimli's quite happy doing his own thing. He's reached that stage in life where I think he's realized that getting involved in anything is entirely optional. Very sensible. Outside, there's another group waiting for us, the horses. There are 2 older horses who are essentially enjoying their retirement. And there are 3 miniature ponies. And finally, the very old donkey. She's 40 years old, so a real pensioner. She's reached the age where her main job is basically eating as much as she can, relaxing, and receiving as much attention as possible. She has her routine and likes to keep it that way. She knows exactly when her breakfast is due and will complain if I am 1 minute late. I think she's got life figured out. The dogs do need a little bit of time to settle around the ponies again whenever we come here. Foxy in particular isn't as quick on her feet as she once was, so I'm much more cautious with her around the horses now. The horses are all good, but Foxy sometimes gets too close to the legs, which makes me nervous. The 2 rescue Chihuahuas are also still learning. They're so tiny that I don't want them wandering underneath a horse or standing between the legs. A horse doesn't need to be aggressive to injure a dog that small. 1 accidental step would be enough. So for now, everybody stays behind the gate when the horses are moving around. Gimli knows the routine and could wander wherever he wanted, but most of the time he chooses to stay with the dog gang anyway. Apparently being part of a 5-dog committee is more interesting. And then there are the chickens. I absolutely love having chickens around. You go outside in the late afternoon and fresh eggs are waiting for you. It doesn't get much better than that. What I also love is how little gets wasted here. Vegetable scraps and suitable leftovers can go to the chickens. The horses produce manure that can eventually become compost. The compost feeds the garden produces vegetables, the chickens eat the vegetables and produce eggs, and then I get to eat the eggs. It's this wonderful little circle happening around you. The chickens themselves seem particularly interested in the horse manure. They spend ages scratching through it looking for whatever treasures chickens apparently believe are hidden inside. I have absolutely no idea what they're finding, but they're very committed to the investigation. Of course, living here isn't just cuddling donkeys, collecting eggs, and watching 5 little dogs run around. There's quite a lot of work, and mornings start early. Well, my mornings start early. The Dachshunds disagree. Foxy and Amy sleep in my room while the other dogs sleep in the living room. So every morning starts with a little reunion. Everyone says hello. There's a quick trip outside to do their business. And then they're all quite happy to go back to bed. Apparently farm life hasn't changed Foxy and Amy's opinion that mornings are completely unnecessary. While they contemplate another snooze, I head outside to start looking after everyone else. First, the horses. They need feeding and checking. Our elderly donkey gets some additional feed that has been soaking overnight. And during this recent heat wave, we've had to change the horses' routine quite a bit. The flies here can be horrible during the day. We get a lot of horse flies which love to bite and can make the horses really uncomfortable. So during the worst of the heat and flies, the horses spend more time inside during the day and go out into the fields when things become cooler. My auntie has tried all sorts of fly rugs, fly masks, and various other solutions over the years. Their reviews appears to be absolutely not. They've managed to destroy so many fly rugs that eventually you begin to wonder whether you're buying fly protection or simply providing them with expensive fabric to rip apart. So we work around them instead. Once everyone has been fed, there is the less glamorous part of farm life: poop. Lots of poop. The stables need cleaning, the horses need checking, and everything has to be ready for another day. By the time everyone outside is sorted, I'm ready for breakfast. And this may be my favorite part: fresh scrambled eggs made from eggs that have come straight from the chickens outside. You really can't beat it, especially with coffee. The coffee is essential. And while I'm eating breakfast, 5 pairs of eyes are beginning to wonder when the restaurant opens. Feeding 5 dogs sounds complicated. It actually isn't once everyone understands the routine. But the first day always takes a little organization. All 5 are fed a natural raw diet with appropriate supplementation. The 2 Chihuahuas eat separately because they are slow eaters. They actually chew unlike the rest. They taste things. They appear to appreciate their meal. It's fascinating. Foxy and Amy could learn something from them, because everyone who's watched the channel for a while knows that my girls do not eat. They inhale. Foxy especially seems to regard chewing as an unnecessary delay between food in the bowl and food entering her stomach. Gimli's also a quick eater, so he joins Foxy and Amy, which means I've somehow divided the 5 very small dogs into big dog group and a little dog group. Foxy and Amy have never been called big dogs before. After breakfast, things calm down again. I like to sit and read for a while, and the dogs back to bed or they cuddle with me. One of the Chihuahuas has found what may be the cutest sleeping spot in the entire house: this little teddy bear bed. He absolutely loves it. The bear head is just about the perfect Chihuahua size to cuddle. Although all the dogs seem to take turns using it, he has very clearly decided that this is his favorite place. And watching 5 dogs slowly find their own favorite spots around the house is one of those simple things that I love about being here. Everything becomes quiet, because there's still plenty more for Foxy, Amy, and the rest of the gang to get up to while we're here. So we'll continue our little farm holiday in part 2. Thank you for spending the day with us. We'll see you in the next video.